Good morning. Welcome to our class today. We're going to start in a comfortable seat. So whatever that means for you, go ahead and find your way to sit nice and tall on the spine. If you'd like to sit up on the edge of a cushion, this is a nice way to keep the hips relaxed, the knees relaxed. If you need any support for your knees, you can always put pillows or little blankets underneath here. You can sit up against the wall or even on the edge of a chair. And we'll take this moment to close down the eyes. To begin to feel the physical aspects of our body that are connecting with the earth, the sits bones, the thighs and the feet, shins and calves. Becoming aware of the breath flowing in and out through the nose. Let it be unrestricted, flowing in its own rhythm. Always acquiescing towards a greater sense of ease, a smooth, melodic kind of flow back and forth. Relax all the muscles in the body. Softening the expression especially. And we'll start in the center of the heart. So bringing your awareness to inner aspects of your body is a new practice for you. You can always place your hands at the part of the body that we're speaking of at present. But even with the hands resting, try to feel that the awareness is within the body, not on the surface of the skin, but within. The heart center is not so much about the physical heart, which sits slightly to the left of the heart center, but it is the feeling center of the body. In the West, we're very accustomed to the mental center. But in this practice today, let's spend more time in the feeling aspect of our practice. And we'll have a chant to open and begin to create a container for us this morning so that we can really begin to feel the energies of the heart awakening through devotion, through attunement, let the breath flow in and out as it will. Everything beginning to slow down a little bit more. Open some space into your life, at least for this next hour. Be willing to feel all that comes to you in the practice. Start with a chant by Paramhansa Yogananda called At Thy Feet. centered directly in the heart. And then you can begin to flutter open the eyes. We'll begin the physical aspect of our practice this morning. And let's just take a couple moments here to take our hands side to side, do a little rocking, very gentle waking up of the spine. You can look in the opposite direction that you're rocking. Awareness centered right at the base of the spine, so sort of dip into the region where it starts to open and awaken lowest centers of the spine. And then you can go a little bit higher, sort of pressing out through the rib side, so pressing out through the ribs. And go even higher up into the shoulders, maybe drawing shoulder up by ear. You might even push off the ground. And then we'll go even higher into the neck, so when you go over to one side, let the head start to reach and lengthen, and then go over to the other side. So you feel the whole spine sort of waking up here, and then go just very crown of the head. So just sort of knocking from one side to the other, very slight, nice and tall on the spine. Good. Alright, let's take our deep breath. We'll inhale and send arms up into the sky above us. And then exhale and descend, hands right down to the shoulders. Let's do circling of shoulders, elbows going in wide circles. Loosening up the instruments of the heart into the physical world. Let's reverse the direction. And introduce a slight twisting, lead with one side and the other. Sort of like you're swimming here with the arms. Your overhand stroke here. Good. And then reverse the direction. Start to peel open and back. And you can be dramatic, rocking from one side, opening up into the other side. And when you're ready, arms go all the way up into the sky. Take a little rocking, reach, reach, reach. Deep breath in through the nose. Gentle exhale, just bathe the field of space around you. The ground. Let's open our wingspan. Inhale, leading back sides of the palms together. Nice full breath. And gentle exhale down and out. One more round like this, slowing down a bit, inhaling to rise up. And exhaling to lower down. And just leave your right hand down onto the ground. We'll inhale and send our left hand rising up. And then go ahead and just rest either on top of the head, or some of us can even find the ear. And peel up onto the tips of the fingers of your grounded hand and just sit up tall. And you should feel a nice little pull all the way down through the arm. So not so much that it takes you out of yourself. Just breathe. Gentle encouragement of the neck to the side. And then you free that side by inhaling both arms up to the sky, and we'll send left arm down. And again, it can be top of the head, if you can reach to the ear. There's no pulling here, just a gentle resting. The weight of the hand is enough that you might come on the tips of your grounded hand. Keep reaching nice and tall here. Take a few breaths. This is a wonderful way to experience the arm as one integrated force, feeling the line of energy from the heart through the shoulder all the way down. When you're ready to relieve yourself this time, just go ahead and take fingers. We'll interlace on the back side of the neck and bow the head down. Let the elbows get heavy. Then when you inhale, go ahead and peel up, opening chest, opening elbows, and then exhaling, coming down. You can round the back when you come down. But when you inhale, sit up nice and tall, tilt the pelvis forward, push the belly out, push the heart, and a few more rounds. listening to the breath. Let the breath take you into the practice. Sort of like when we're chanting, it's the voice that's leading the chant, not the instrument. You listen for the breath. Then, when the inhale is filling, there is room and there's ability to expand. When you're exhaling, there's capacity to fold forward. The next time you reach up, you might just extend arms all the way up to the sky. Do a little circling of the wrists out and down. Let's get them to wake up. And then reverse back up. And back down. Try open hands. And one more time. Alright, this time let's interlace the fingers. We're going to press the palms up to the sky. If you can go slightly behind the body, feel free. Just take a little rocking side to side, shoulders getting some good love in the practice. Okay, adjust the legs if you need to, and then we'll descend arms down. Let's get hands onto the knees, and you're going to hook your hands on your knees, and you're going to start to roll at the base of the spine. So think like you're trying to create a fingerprint with the base of the spine, rolling around. Now when you go forward, the belly spills open. When you go back, you can hook and start to round the back body, and you'll begin to soften all the supportive muscles of the low back. And feel free to let the head get involved here. So when you go back, the head is down. When you go forward, it peels up. You may even find a circular pattern here. So you tell me how you figure it out. Express the body as it wants to, just a little circling. Good. And then let's just sort of work up into the shoulders here one more time. You can take fingertips on the shoulders, thumbs down the back. And we're going to inhale over to the side and then exhale other side. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Great little practice for purifying the energy in the solar plexus. This is our sense of will, our sense of identity, personal identity. Just enough until you feel a little more activation. You may feel some heat. Let's inhale, send arms up to the sky. We'll open in the throat here. So go ahead and interlace the fingers, and right in front of the throat, press your palms out. So we'll go ahead and exhale, look down and press out. So drop the chin to the chest. Good. Inhale, draw up. Finish the inhale, lift the chin and look up. Good. And then exhale, you bathe down. Finish the exhale by looking down. So the focus here is really in the throat. When you inhale, lifting chin. Exhale, make sure you drop chin right down to the chest. You might even round the back to really close down in our Jalandhar Bandh, or the throat lock in the body. So one more time. And we'll end in the exhalation, pushing all the way out. Good. Just uninterlace the fingers and draw them down in front of the body. Some of us can just roll out of our seat. If you need to exit another way, you can just take your feet off to the side, and we'll come onto hands and knees. Let's keep with this opening in the body here by stretching one leg out nice and long. And get the other side, reaching out. Just do a couple times on either side. Shifting weight into the hands. So we're going to take a bow here, and we're going to take our knees nice and close together. And when you're ready, you can start to extend one of your legs and just bow towards the earth. Send that leg as far back as it can in the sky. Good, and then just come right back up. So it's very gentle. You're waking up the arms. So use the strength of the triceps. That's the back side of your arm. And then come back into neutral. Good. Maybe a couple times on either side. If you can touch your head to the ground, feel free. And try flexing the toes of the extended leg. This will keep a nice energetic lock, and it'll shift the inner experience so the leg doesn't feel like it's so heavy. One more time. Just keep it even. Make sure you finish on opposite side that you started with. Good. And let's wake into the hips. You can step hands beyond the shoulders and just start circling. If you've taken any of the other classes, these are some of our common warm-ups here. So more than we're trying to center any awareness into a meditative state, the beginning of our practice, we're really giving some love to the physical body and cultivating an awareness of the inner body. Reverse the direction as you're ready. Alright, let's come right up onto knees. So you can take knees underneath the hips and we'll rise up. We're going to move through a little sequence here. So when you're ready, you can take hands resting on the base of the hips and fingers pointing down the glutes. We're going to inhale and look up. Good. And then we're going to exhale and slide the hands back to the earth and push right into our cat pose and finish the exhalation. So we're going to go right from one pose to the other. Inhale, come back on the knees and slide hands down and finish by looking up. Good. And then exhale, slide down the thighs until hands connect with the earth and push the rest of the breath as you look to the belly. Nice and smooth. One breath per movement here. So you can get a sense of lengthening the breath. So moving with the flow. When you reach the bottom of the exhalation, that's the peak of your cat pose. When you rise all the way up, this next time, let's stay at the top here in Ustrasana or camel pose. And let the heart space open. If you're looking down towards the ground, look up a little bit higher. At least to the horizon, and then go a bit higher even beyond that. You feel this great awakening of energy rising into the heart. With calm faith, I open to thy light. The affirmation for this pose, with calm faith, I open to thy light. Affirmations can be said verbally or they can be repeated inwardly. With calm faith, I open to thy light. Good. And then we'll just come back to neutral. If we can stay another moment here on the knees. Let's bring deeper breath into our practice. So we'll take an oxygenating breath. Double inhale to open arms. And then release. Again. So you're drawing hands away from each other like you're pulling apart a great big rubber band. Keep going. Again. One more. And then turn hands down. Good. Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to tuck toes underneath and press right off the hands into downward facing dog. And take a little pedal side to side. Just so that you're off of your knees and they get a rest. Swing the head, yes, like you're knocking a bell forwards and backwards. Bending one knee and then the other. Right, we're sort of squirming the restlessness out of the body and warming up any places that may be holding tension or frozen parts of our body. Send the vital warmth of breath into the shoulders, the hips. Good. Let's try stepping big toes together and send one foot reaching up towards either just behind you. Sometimes we can go up to the sky if our body allows. And then go ahead and do the other side. Just a moment here of extension. Good. And let's go one side again. So do other side. Inhaling to reach and point. Not staying, just sort of testing the waters, and then completion on the other side. We're going to come down into child's pose. Just to make this a gradual process, you might stay in the active child's pose with hands reaching beyond the head, forehead resting down towards the ground. pose symbolizes the journey or the direction that our asana practice is taking us. With the affirmation, I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Good. With lots of energy, a willingness to greet our next posture. Let's inhale and rise, hands and knees. We're going to come into Surya Churya, or the Sunbird Pose. So choose which side you'd like to start with. If you're going right foot, you can send it back to the ground. Left arm shakes forwards, or you can hover so that your limbs are lifted off of the ground. So in the Ananda tradition, this posture does not have an affirmation, but the affirmation that we have created, I draw strength from inner reservoirs of peace. I draw my strength from inner reservoirs of peace. Feeling that peace in the spine, one more round. I draw my strength from inner reservoirs of peace. When you're ready to, you lower down on the side. Stay strong in the belly. You might even take a little cat-cow here just to release, lifting crown of the head to the sky as you arch the spine and then bowing back. Sure, let's join in this together. This is nice, inhaling for cow and then exhaling for cat. Remember, the body stays relaxed through these practices. Every posture leads us back to a joyful state, so why not embody it right now and right here? You can come back to neutral when you're ready. Knees a little closer together might help you. And then we come onto the opposite side. So right arm forward, left foot reaching back and behind. I draw my strength from inner reservoirs of peace. I draw my strength from inner reservoirs of peace. Nice and strong. Back leg, toes are flexing towards the face. Like you're standing on the wall behind you. One side or the other may be more challenging. Try one or two more breaths in the pose, squeezing the belly and smiling right in the thick of it, so to speak. And then when you're ready to come down, the earth is waiting for you. Let's sweep right onto the knees. Draw the hands up into the sky. Great big circling. Good, let's exhale, spread the arms nice and wide. We're going to bend at the elbows. We'll set up for eagle arms on the knees. Doesn't matter which arm is on top. You can hold shoulders if you're limited in this region of the body. Some of us can draw backs of palms together and even wrap hands around. Good. And if you can, lift the hands just a little bit higher and try to press the solar plexus out a little further. That's this region right beneath the heart. And this will help you to get lift through the abdomen, strengthen the low back. All right, when you're ready to release, just go ahead and bow the knees and sort of just brush the hands off the shoulders, and then inhale, come right back out. And then exhale, arms nice and wide. We'll bend elbows and come right to the other side. So whichever is the other side for you. Again, lift your hands a little higher. If you're holding shoulders, you just stay nice and tall in your spine, almost like you are going to lean on the wall behind you, or do a little trust fall here. Make sure to catch yourself. Hands coming together if you're in the full Garudasana. And you lift the arms a little bit higher, but relax the shoulders. Try to push out through the solar plexus. It'll help you lift through your heart. Chin is tucked in this pose. You're opening the backside of the heart. All right, when you're ready to release, Just brush the shoulders as you bow underneath here, and then inhale with a nice spring-like energy. We'll come all the way up, and then exhale, you can bathe right back down to the earth. Inhale, slide into your cow pose. We're heading to down dog. Any way that you'd like. Go ahead and press your hips up and pedal out the knees. Notice the shoulders and the arms. Do they feel a little more relaxed in the pose? Is there more blood flow? Be sure to look at your lap as you practice down dog. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Repeat these affirmations until they come alive in your heart. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. And let's stretch the muscles of the face here. If you need to come down into child's pose, do so at any time, but otherwise start rolling the lips a little bit. You can open the mouth and stick out the tongue towards the chin. Squeeze the eyes close together. Don't worry about a perfect down dog. You're just kind of getting everything to sort of move here. A little squirming in the practice is very helpful. When you're ready, we're going to take a big step with the left foot all the way up between the hands. Drop the back knee down to start. Stepping left hand up to the knee. Go ahead and turn your gaze over towards left side of the room. Some of us feel that we have the strength to lift the back knee, and others even send the top arm to the sky. As we're in a twisting lunge. Nice deep breathing here to support the pose. Make sure the neck is comfortable and we're not forcing it in any way. When you're ready to come down, go ahead and lower down. Let's keep knees centered onto the earth, and we'll come into our modified lunge. You can just press your way right up to standing here. And hip is centered over the knee unless you feel that you have a little room to lean forward. So we'll inhale and rise up with the arms, and then exhale, soften arms down into their shoulders. Nice steadiness here. Anybody looking for a deeper challenge in the physical body, you might lift your back knee. Just be mindful of what your body actually needs. Strengthening our soul qualities, not the ego. When you're ready, you can come down, hands all the way back to the ground. Once the hands anchor, now lift the back knee and lift your hips to the sky so you can slide your left foot out of the way. And we'll just press back here. Feeling hips a little more open on the left side. Good, let's go right to the other side and then we'll rest. Right foot rising all the way up to the front. Drop the back knee down to start. And shift your right hand up onto the knee. If you can go a little bit further, you might touch the heart. You may even extend top arm into the sky. Furthermore, you might lift the back knee if your body's desiring this. Remember, we want to energize the body, calm energy flowing, not fatigue. Fatigue takes away our energy. So feel yourself open to the flow of grace, a flow of energy, informing your practice, deepening your breath. When you're ready to come down with the top arm, anchor down for a moment, hips facing forwards. Then you can walk your hands up this front knee. Some of us will sit hips right over the knee. Others will release forwards, and you send your arms up into the sky. For shoulder sensitivity, center hands in the heart. For heart opening, try a reverse prayer pose behind the heart. So you find what works for you. There's so many ways that we can be in this pose. And lift your inner gaze. Look a bit higher without moving the chin. Just look up with the eyes and notice how it shifts the way that you experience your body. When you're ready, you slide the hands back down to the ground. Now's the time to anchor hands and lift the back knee, and then lift the hips enough, come onto the tips of the back toe so that you can press your way back into downward facing dog. Option to stay here and just breathe and feel calmness expanding. For those of us looking for a respite in the body, just come down into Child's Pose. Everyone will meet in Child's Pose in good timing to feel the effects of the pose. Relaxing and feeling just as important as the active phase. So watch what is happening inside of your body in this moment. What is awakening? What is balancing? If your forehead is resting on the earth, you have this wonderful opportunity to center your awareness up here at the point between the two eyebrows. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. See if you can become aware of the way that your breath is reflecting the relaxed state of the muscles and the expanded state of the awareness that's beginning to grow. Gentle as you are, we're going to rise out of our Child's Pose. Some of us are going to pull our hands back towards our knees, and we're just going to roll right up through Vajrasana, or our lightning bolt pose, and then we'll just slide right up off of the calves. Toes can tuck underneath here, and we're going to walk ourselves towards the back of our mat. So going all the way back, hands towards the feet. Take a rather deep bend in the knees just to begin here. And let's take hands right above the knees on the thighs. So knees are deeply bent, enough that you can lay your belly onto your lap. So you're sort of like a folded in a sandwich. When you're ready, you're going to inhale and lift through the back of the neck and press off of the thighs. This is a modified halfway lift. And then exhale and fold down. Keep the knees bent the whole time. So inhaling, you're just pressing off the hands, squeeze the belly, roll the shoulders together, and then exhale and fold down. Take a few more here. Feel that sense of leading with the base of the skull, reaching through crown, and then exhaling, coming down. This will help to strengthen your arms since you're using the muscle of the back side of the arm, and then exhale to come down. Good. All right, stay with me here. We're going to step feet together. And we're going to come into a twisting warrior 3 pose. So this is a fun pose to try. Bend your knees enough that you can touch the ground, even if your hands are way out beyond your feet. And we're just going to try and lift one of our feet behind us. Now some of us can walk really close to our foot and we can come into something resembling a standing split. This is the first aspect of the pose. If you can only just keep that foot on the ground, this is plenty for many bodies. For anybody that can extend the leg directly behind you, draw the right hand up to the heart and begin to open your hips out to the side. So you may even get the hand up into the sky. So keep the bend in the knee. Remember, you can always sort of lean forward on this front arm. And you get as high as you get. Just breathe and smile. You're already victorious in whatever you've chosen. We'll come down to rest that side, and we'll go right to the other side. So again, if you have trouble with flexibility in your legs or your hands are having trouble meeting the earth, just bend the knees more. And you might just step a foot back and stay here with your head down. If you can lift, if you can lift your leg, and if you can open your hips, open the hips and reach the opposite arm up into the sky. So whatever the body's ready for. So you're in your twisting warrior 3 pose, a beautiful expression in the body. You're expanding in every direction. Nice deep breathing here. When you're ready to come down, the earth is there, but stay for a few moments if you can. And good. We're going to come right into a rest. So lower right down into child's pose and just take a moment to integrate. And don't wait another second to be completely relaxed. Relaxed in the body, yet the awareness, your consciousness is completely active. So we're lifting out of the sleep state into wakefulness of consciousness, where we're very aware of what's happening as it's happening. And we keep expanding that into super consciousness, where we become aware of realities beyond just the body. When you're ready to rise out, go ahead and just take a moment here to lift into your cow pose, a little flexing of the spine, and then you can go ahead and push yourself to the back of your mat once more. So take a nice deep bend, take feet a little bit wider, toes pointing out. Good. When you're ready to, you can again push right above the knee on your thigh. Go ahead and inhale and lift until the arms come somewhat straight, and then exhale and release the back of neck and head. So you inhale and lift, squeeze the belly, take a deeper bend in the knees, and then let the breath go. Good, let's be dramatic. Deep breath in through the nose, big sigh. Again. All right, good. Let's go ahead. We'll bend knees and just roll up. Release the arms, release the head. Slowly stack your way all the way up. Inhale, draw palms facing up right into the heart, and then extend the arms out nice and wide. All right, and then let the arms come down. We'll take a moment just to rest here. We're adjusting over here on our end. We just discovered that there is a heat wave up at the top of our ceiling. All right, when you're ready, you can go ahead and step your big toes together as much as your anatomy will allow. We're going to leave right hand down on the hip, and then inhale and pull up along the left side of the body and release right up to the sky. If you feel that you can go a little higher, pushing top palm up to the sky, you free the bottom hand out and around and press underneath the left hand. This is half moon pose. The affirmation, strength and courage fill my body cells. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Courage comes from the heart, so keep the heart open in this pose. Better to be standing straight with open heart than to be arching over with heart closing to the ground. And you can descend, releasing hands down and by the hips. Let's go right to the other side. So left hand stays low this time. Right hand presses straight up first. Then if you can free the bottom hand out of the way and reach up and around and press underneath, you may feel a greater sense of lift here. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Strength and courage fill my body cells. This affirmation reminds us that there is potential of a recharging force coming into our bodies. It's not my strength and my courage fill my body cells. It's strength and courage fill my body cells. You're ready, you come back through center, very gently just bathe the hands down. Take a moment here to close the eyes and try to touch the ceiling with the crown of your head. Nice and tall, Feeling the spine electrified, currents rising up left side of the body, descending down right side, inhaling through left side, exhaling through right side. Okay, when you're ready, you can open the eyes, and we're going to come into our full Warrior 3 pose, or Ganapati Asana. So you can come to the front or middle of your mat, and you just take hands on your hips, and we'll step right foot back. Stay on the ball of the foot and bend your front knee. Keep weight shifted over your left foot. First stage here is just to start sort of looking over, like you were peeking over the fence, trying to see what's going on next door. That is the first stage in Ganapati Asana. If you feel that you have the strength to lift through the back leg, right leg begins to lift, flexing the toes, and we come into some version of the pose. Hands can reach behind you, like you're holding on to supports, or hands can come into the heart. Just be mindful of the low spine in the pose. Nice deep breathing. Good. Nice deep breathing. The affirmation, I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. Challenge any other alternative narrative that your body may not be able to perform the pose. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. When you're ready to exit, just bend the front knee and settle the back foot down onto the ground. Let's take toes pointing diagonally, and we'll just take sort of a resting Warrior 1 pose. Hands can be on the hips. If you'd like to come into the full version of your Warrior 1, you can release the arms up into the sky. Let's say that affirmation a couple more times, looking up. So find the optimistic view, looking towards your destiny. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. Hands can come down. We'll take a step forwards or several steps until you come to the front of your mat. Take left foot reaching back. Remember to stay on the ball of the foot. We're coming for other side here. Slight bend in this front knee, and you want to be on the ball of the foot, like you're ready to spring into awakening. So you may not step as far back, just so that you have space to leap forwards. When you're ready, you can go ahead and take flight. Curl the back toes and actively lift. So the belly is firm but not prohibitive. If hands want to be in the heart center in Anjali Mudra, feel free. And wherever you're looking, look a bit higher without moving the head. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. I know it's a challenging pose. Smile in the pose. Even if you have to fake it, I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. Come down anytime that you need, but if you'd like, stay 2 more breaths. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. Back foot lowers down when you're ready. Come into a relaxed Warrior 1 pose. Send arms reaching to the sky if you choose. And feel the balancing, the recalibration. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. Very gentle, lowering hands down and out of the way. Take a couple steps if you need to. We're coming all the way to the front. So a few versions of our next pose. Not accessible to all bodies. We're going to come into a squat. So feel free to rest on the balls of your feet. And maybe just center your hands down if you need to. Some of us can drop our heels down. And we can find our knees open wide. So wherever you find yourself, just sit nice and tall with a long spine. If you have trouble with digestion, especially an abundance of air quality in the body. See if you can hug the knees. This is the true wind release pose, and it's a very soothing and comforting pose, not available to all. So you find the version that you can do. It's a wonderfully relaxing pose. If your feet are getting really crampy, just go ahead and lower down out of the pose. The easiest way I find to lower is reach behind you. You might have to do a little trust fall to get there. And then go ahead, you can extend your legs out nice and long for a moment. Let's just drum the knees. Wave the feet. Everything nice and happy. Alright. We're going to go ahead and scooch ourselves forwards. So knees are bent, and you can just hold on the backs of the thighs, and we're coming down to the earth. We'll skip right through the middle world of our seated postures, right onto the ground. When you get there, take knees, draw them in towards the chest, and a little ball, just roll side to side. And let's try a fish pose together. So when you're ready, you extend your feet nice and long out. And here's what I'll offer. There's two ways to get into fish pose. This is the gentle version to come down, and it's usually the most accessible. You take hands by the sides of your hips, palms facing down. Depending on the length of your arms, you just want your arms close to the body. Now you're going to sort of slide your head down as you lift your chest. At some point, the weight will shift onto your elbows, and you can rest on the back edge of the head. So play around with the positioning of the arms. Ideally, you are resting on a part of your head, though. And you're really reaching your heart up to the sky. Let's repeat the affirmation for fish pose. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Now I find it wonderful to sort of inch forward with the heels, and you'll notice it starts to kind of pull your pelvis forwards. When you find a version that you can rest in, stay here for a few breaths. It can be very challenging for some bodies, so when you need to come down, slide the head out of the way and use the arms to place you back down on the ground. Come right into Shavasan, palms facing up, and just rest. We're taking a respite pose. Center the awareness to the point between the two eyebrows. Now we're going to come back into the fish pose. Another version that may be a little more gentle is you'll just need to come up through your seated pose, legs extended long, and in this version you drop down onto the elbows, so one at a time, and you keep your chest lifted, and the head comes either looking over the belly or looking towards the sky. I personally like the one off of the floor. You get a nice pressure at the top side of the skull. Now, for any advanced practitioners, the burden is on you to keep yourself safe because of this format. If you've never had a neck injury, if you can readily smile in the pose authentically and you feel calm, some of us, also you've never had a low back injury, some of us can take our hands and rest them in prayer over the heart. So you find what works for you. All paths lead to Shavasan when you're ready to rest. Just close the eyes, palms turn up, and feel the effects of the practice. welcome to stay here. If you're going to come with us, we'll come into a twist. Just take right knee towards the chest. We're going to roll all the way over onto the left side. So gather both arms way, way over to the side. So you're literally laying on the left hip and shoulder. And then you might begin to draw the top arm across for the twist. Taking some deep breaths in the posture. The affirmation for the pose: I open to the flow of God's life within me. I open to the flow of God's life within me. We're going to go to the other side, taking your time to slowly roll. Take both knees in the center, then extending right foot out. Go ahead and roll your left knee. And make sure you roll all the way onto the side of the body and you gather both hands. Then you can begin to open into your twisting. Close down the eyes and feel the affirmation in the heart. I open to the flow of God's life within me. I open to the flow of God's life within me. And let that flow of energy ascend up the spine, right to the point between the two eyebrows, like a little circuit coming from the point between the two eyebrows back to the heart, rising up again. I open to the flow of God's life within me. All right, again, if you'd like to stay for a longer period of time, you're most welcome. And we're going to set for our final posture, which is an inversion. You might start by taking knees to the chest. If you'd like to come into just a gentle legs up the wall, you might sit onto your hands or a little pillow, just enough on the edge that you can begin to lengthen your feet. If you'd like to come into supportive shoulder stand, plug your elbows into the ground. And you sweep the feet overhead and press into the elbows and lift the hips up into the hands. Now, if these are too much for your practice this morning, you can always come into a bridge pose as demonstrated by Shannon. Allowing the time for the pose to work its magic on your body. Cultivating deeper awareness of the spine. Careful not to look left or right in the pose, only closed eyes looking up. And when you're ready, if you're in the supported shoulder stand, once again, feel free to stay in these postures for quite some time. For those of us that feel we need to come down, you just bend the knees back towards the chest and slowly release the hips down to the ground. Take any final postures you need. If you feel any sense of gripping in your low back, this is a protective function. Sometimes when the body is not used to being put in these positions, it is trying to keep you safe. To bypass that, to let the body know that you are safe, put the feet on the ground and just wave the knees side to side like windshield wipers, and it will flush this very helpful response out of the body. all of our inquiries lead to Shavasana at one time or another. This is legs extended long, lying on the back, palms facing up. I would suggest that you have a blanket in this pose, at least a sweater, socks to keep the body warm. If you're in a warm climate, even a light blanket like a sheet will keep the body insulated, will keep the energy insulated into the spine. Just allow any awakening that's happening. We're going to start with our awareness at the base of the spine, and at each of the 7 centers aligning our spine, we'll chant the sound of Om. So do this inwardly, starting at the root, chanting Om, Om, Om. Moving just a couple finger widths up to the sacral. Om, Om, Om. Taking quite a leap above the region of the belly button into the navel, in the center of the body. Om, Om, Om. Rising up to the heart, the central area behind the breastbone. Om, Om, Om. Rising up to the throat. Start at the base of the throat where the collarbones meet. Om, Om, Om. Let's rise up to the base of the skull, drawing a diagonal line, like you're sending forth an arrow right to the point between the 2 eyebrows. Let's chant Om. Om, Om, Om. Right to the crown of the head. Om, Om, Om. come back into the heart. Feeling the calmness restored into the feeling center of the physical body. Feel the entire body harmonized by the practice. And recognize and give thanks to the grace that informs our practice and that flows into us and through us, expressing these harmonies. When it's natural, invite the breath first back into the body. And then slowly awakening small movements. Feeling the movements supported by the energy in the spine, the grace that is descending upon you, flowing through you. When you're ready to grow the movements even larger, gradually working your way to extending arms up overhead along the earth. Big sweeping breaths into the body. Any little squirming, waking movements that you're ready for. Knees can come into the chest in their timing. Keep the eyes closed and come back slowly, especially if this is a new practice for you. Take your time. We'll roll off to the right side. And place the left hand onto the heart as you rest on the right side of the body. Feeling the love at the center. You can slowly begin to press your way back up. Try to let your head be the last part of the body to rise, almost like you're peeling yourself from the ground with the support of your arms until you come back into a seated pose. You can have legs crossed, you can sit kneeling, whatever is most comfortable. And we'll turn the palms to face up on the lap. Let's take a double inhalation. We're going to tense our whole body together. So let's do it. Double inhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the muscles of the body till they're vibrating, and open the mouth and sharply release the breath. Again. And release the breath. One more time. And release. Palms facing up. Relax and feel inner gaze at the point between the two brows. Special time at the end of your practice to feel the benefits of all the postures, not so much on the body, but on your consciousness. might be inclined after this practice to take some silent time to meditate if your day affords you. You're also most welcome to pause here and meditate and then join for our ending. For those of us ending now, let's rub the palms together. Extend the arms out nice and wide. Let's send healing vibrations of Om all throughout the planet. See receptive souls everywhere recharged by the sounding of Om. Back together into the heart. And just take a bow of the head towards our hands in prayer. We bow our ego to the heart space, which is loving, which is kind. We honor this place in all souls by saying Namaste.
Namaste.
So take your time coming back. You can flutter the eyes open. You might take some time just to rest. So thank you again for coming.